and we're discussing the business of boxing. We're going to start a little series on that. Mike has negotiated his fair share of boxing contracts. He's been manager, he's been lawyer, involved in this aspect of it. A lot of fans don't know about it. I figured for the first one, we talk about the biggest fight contract that you were involved in, which was Joe Calzaghe versus Mikkel Kessler. I remember that fight. Huge over in Europe. Tell us about it. Tell us what the contract was like.
I was working on behalf of Kessler and Kessler's exclusive promoter, the great Mogens Pally. And it took, between Mogens and myself, it took us over a year to negotiate a contract with Frank Warren. In a spirit of genius, Pally had the idea that we make them an offer first. They didn't want to make an offer, so we made an offer to them for X million dollars, and or euros or whatever it was.
How much was it? Now again, people love the specifics. I mean, I don't know if you want to mention.
We'll get specific in a minute, but we made the offer to have the fight in Denmark, and of course they rejected that. They didn't even look at the money. I think it was $3 million for Calzaghe. Calzaghe had all the belts. No, we had 2 of the belts. But the point being that so that offer didn't fly. So Mogens instructed me, and I informed Frank Warren that Mikkel Kessler, whose mother was from England anyway, that he would be willing to come to the UK, meaning to Wales, Cardiff, Wales, which he did. Finally, after a year of going back and forth, working almost 7 days a week for over a year, we signed a deal with them. And Kessler wound up with $5 million, which was later revealed to me, $5 million US dollars. And it was later revealed to me that that was more money than Calzaghe got paid, which I think caused a rift between Calzaghe and Frank Warren, but that was their problem.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing about that fight, a lot of people don't know, and this is absolute gospel truth. Kessler had a right hand that was virtually broken the week of the fight. He couldn't use it. We did a media session with about 50 cameras in Wales. And Kessler said to me, "What do I do so they don't see that my hand is bad?" I said, "Hit the bag with your left hand only," and he did. And only one guy in the media noticed and wrote about it. But Kessler took some pain-reducing injections and fought the fight and put up an excellent, courageous fight. Of course, he lost a wide decision, about 8 rounds to 4.
Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely a factor. You know, like a guy gets injured. I mean, what do? If you don't,
you can't. Well, I learned one thing, which I knew already. You can't, when you're getting $5 million US as a purse, you don't pull out of the fight.
That's true. I mean, you know, that's just part of it. How much?
If Pally and Kessler had instructed me to pull out of the fight on their behalf, there never would have been a fight.
How much? Now, let me ask you this: How much did you make off of that? Like, do you get a percentage? That's always an interesting question I think.
I pay $750 a year in federal income tax, just like Donald Trump. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. No,
I wish I had his accounts.
Well, listen, that's always an interesting topic, but I find that, you know, a lot of times that these things aren't discussed, like who made how much and stuff, because
a lot of times there's confidentiality clauses and non-disclosure in the contracts.
Okay. Because I find that, let's say, if let's say a younger generation of guys, they don't know how much somebody's making, they might agree to be like exploited or something, you know, or they're
not talking about the UFC. The UFC does everything in the dark.
Right. When you don't know. So when we're making these videos, my hope is that, you know, when we're discussing the specifics, you said $5 million. I mean, but, you know, Kessler wasn't a guy that was a rookie that had 5 fights. You know, he was.
He had 2 title belts. He had a good name, but don't forget, he's also coming from a country with only 5 million people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Denmark is tiny compared to the UK, both in terms of physical size and population.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the other thing is that I'm sure it's not as popular. Boxing is probably definitely not as popular as in the UK, right? I mean,
The media revenue in the UK swamped what you could get out of Denmark.
yeah. Were there any interesting? So there's another question. Like in terms of the contract, were there any interesting stipulations in terms of the ring size, in terms of the glove?
We had arguments about that. You know, there was one fight with Kessler in Denmark, and he fought an American. I'm trying to think of who it was, but anyway, there was a dispute about the dressing rooms, and I took pictures of both dressing rooms. The dressing rooms were the same, but Steven Espinoza later became the head of Showtime Boxing, represented Golden Boy. Oh, it was Librado Andrade.
Okay, I remember that guy. The guy that
They complained about the dressing room. I took pictures of the dressing room. The dressing rooms were equal and exactly the same. And that, so Andrade, on behalf of Andrade, Espinoza threatened to pull out of the fight. I said, "Go ahead, pull out. Go tell your fighter that he's not fighting in 4 hours. He's not getting the chance against the world champion with 2 title belts." We called their bluff. The fight went on, and Kessler won.
Yeah, and I mean, like what he's pulling out, he's not getting paid too, so.
That's the ultimate veto.
Although my question is like, why would you care?
Having said that, Steven Espinoza, if I ever knew he was going to be president of Showtime Boxing, I would have treated him better.
That's true. But Andrade, you say Andrade. I remember Andrade was the guy, if I'm not mistaken, who said that when he gets hit in the head, he gets energized. He brings up the energy. And I remember one time he got hit in the head during a fight, and the commentators like, he must have really gotten energized after that one.
Speaking of energy, did you ever look at it, Librado Andrade's head? He had a huge head. He should have worn a hat like Abraham Lincoln, because with his goatee, he looked like Abraham Lincoln.
Actually, that's true.
If Abraham Lincoln was Mexican, he'd be Librado Andrade.
Absolutely.
Very tough guy. He came to fight, but Kessler whipped him going away.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough guy. Absolutely.
Kessler was the Viking warrior.
Yeah, I remember that. Right. So yeah, these are the things that that I'm hoping that with these videos that we do, were there, in terms of were there any rematch clauses in the fight? I mean, if you had a big first fight, why not do it again? Like that's the sort of thing. Were there any discussions about that?
No, because there was no rematch clause, and Calzaghe moved on, as did Kessler.
I know, but that's always
again. It was an 8 in terms of rounds. I had it trying to look at it in a neutral manager. I thought Joe won 8 out of the 12 rounds, but Kessler fighting with one hand. It should have been a rematch, but for whatever reason, it never was.
And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a rematch in terms of the financial aspect of it. If you have a good first fight, that sells well. I remember that, so then why not have it again? Why not do it again? So.
Well, if they had a second fight, it likely would have been in Denmark. But again, in Denmark, you have a big, huge soccer stadium, but you don't have the financial support that you have in bigger countries.
Okay.
Again, there's only 5 million people in the whole nation.
Yeah.
I love Denmark. It's a wonderful country socially and politically, and a great place to visit when there's no pandemic. I can't wait to go back to Copenhagen.
It's always at the top of the happiness index. Whenever you see a happiness index, they're always like, Denmark is always at the top, the Scandinavian countries. So
they never took that pool the night of the fight with Calzaghe, though.
They never took the what?
It was at the top of the sadness pool when Calzaghe beat Kessler.
That's true. Must have been brought down a rung or two. Sweden outpaced it. Finland or whatever, they outpaced it. So.
What about Norway?
It's always like Norway, Denmark, whatever. They're always at the top there. So there you have it. The business side of boxing, the Calzaghe Kessler contract. We'll see you next time.